jumping into Thanksgiving, Sheikh. Thanksgiving is pretty much a secular holiday. I mean, it might have had religious beginnings, just that attitude of gratitude to God. But now it's almost thought of just as a time when family gets together and people have gratitude for what they have before killing each other on Black Friday for things that they want. So what's your thoughts on Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, I think we have to recognize that there is a growing significant number of people who Thanksgiving for them is also a reminder of horrific things happen historically to Native Americans and Indians and all the things that happen in history.
Yeah.
And I recognize that pain. I recognize that something happened in the past and it's something that we should learn from it. We don't need to live in the shadow of it for the rest of our life. But I understand that. I understand some people coming from that pain. So that has to be said. But for me, that doesn't mean that Thanksgiving today has to live in the shadow of that historical, events that took place before. Because also Thanksgiving was a celebration for being grateful and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's something Islamically correct. And that's part of the culture that Islam recognizes. A culture of others that Islam recognizes. Yeah, and being grateful and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings that you have. And also there is another thing which is more apparent in America today and Western, because America, we're the one who celebrate Thanksgiving, and in Canada as well. It's the issue of that's an opportunity for family to come together more than anything else even.
Yep.
And that's something well needed in modern days. The family connections. I know a lot of families, so through in-laws and stuff like that, non-Muslims, the only time really they gather in Thanksgiving. They see each other and they talk. So that's in it, that concept itself is something of virtue, something we should encourage as Muslim, we should support. So again, I will differentiate between someone living in Egypt will celebrate Thanksgiving.
Why would they do that?
Why would they do that? That's for me, the only you is imitating.
Okay.
And it's not be right. But somebody living in America and it became part of the culture, part of the, especially if you have non-Muslims, family members and people who are in your co-workers and...
Well, Sheikh, a lot of Muslim families who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, like it's become very much part of...
I mean, in America, it became, but they're not necessarily doing it like, because I have some relatives, non-Muslims, I've seen how they do Thanksgiving. Yeah, and I see Muslim how they do things. It's very different. Like when it comes to a lot of like just American family, when they will have the turkey, they will have the food, and they will have some activity, and this activity and games sometimes, and all that around, mention something they're grateful for, thankful for, what happened to you. Still that spirit exists, which is, I think that should be encouraged. And I think that's something positive. Even those people, not necessarily religious people who go regularly to church or anything like that.
Gratitude,
But it's about gratitude, connecting them to God, connecting them to something bigger than just, themselves. That, in my opinion, push back toward that atheism wave that we have in the world today. Bringing back some moral issue, in my opinion, important for society to have family connections, being together, even a lot of people like kind of reconciliations and people who don't talk to each other come back to speak to one another again and so forth. So for me, I have no problem if somebody have a non-Muslim family who doing Thanksgiving to do it. No problem at workplace to do it for coworker who that's part of their culture, that's part of what they do. Let's say there is an American people
you keep qualifying it with if they have non-Muslim family members. What if I don't have non-Muslim family members? It's my Sudanese family, and somebody says, "Hey, let's have Thanksgiving. Let's celebrate Thanksgiving this week." It's my Pakistani family, and we're celebrating Thanksgiving. Any issues with that?
Yeah, but that's not part of your culture unless you are living long enough in America and you
Yeah,
became
Sheikh,
part
people
of
have
what.
been born and
And
raised
we
in
say, what
America.
do you
And
mean by celebrating? You're going to bring like a turkey and family
yes,
come together?
turkey.
That's fine.
Yes. They don't even eat turkey, Sheikh, outside of Thanksgiving. These are biryani eating, goat and chicken
I'm
and
wondering
beef,
how biryani turkey will look like.
and then they're bringing.
Is any biryani turkey?
I don't know, Sheikh. Guys, they'll let us know in the comments. Let us know if you've ever had turkey on Thanksgiving or not. But what do you think, Sheikh? If
I don't think it's haram.
Okay, but you wouldn't be inclined towards that. You wouldn't suggest that.
No, like.
Or you'd suggest perhaps just making it different. So don't bring a turkey if that's not part of your
No,
culture.
you can bring turkey. You can bring whatever you want. But
Sheikh, I feel like turkey is very specific. You know how you said earlier, like that you don't imitate.
I said you can, but you don't have to.
What?
You can eat turkey. You can do whatever, but you don't have
But I
to.
feel like turkey, again, when you talk about how these things become very ritualistic, like you have to have this and you have to have this, I feel like there's no reason for turkey at all in Thanksgiving other than it's just a very specific aspect of the.
I think the reason for people to do turkey because of the price, it
becomes very cheap.
Meal. For some reason, turkey only Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point. Is that nobody ever eats nobody eats turkey outside of Thanksgiving.
So, I mean, I would not be saying haram or not allowed. That's very hard. You need a proof for that. Like,
No, I'm not saying haram, but just the idea of.
I not necessarily. I will encourage it. I will. Some years I'll do it. Some years I'm not going to do it. But it's not for me like a red line that I'm crossing. Like, let's say with my family,
If you want to have a turkey one year, it's fine.
Fine. I will not be strict about that.